Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today, we're basically going to be talking about Manchester United's next game, and it is the game between Crystal Palace and Manchester United at the Selhurst Park. Basically, this game becomes all the more crucial considering how Man United fared against Everton and all of that. So we're going to break down everything. We're going to give you like all the details, all the stats and stuff. So sit back, relax, grab a popcorn, hit the follow button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, everything. Just do all that good stuff, to keep this channel going and all of that. And for those of you, my Facebook folks, please don't forget to, follow and also put in the comment section what you think about the game against Crystal Palace. So let's dive in. The days of Manchester United arriving at South London expecting a routine 3 points are seemingly kind of over. We're looking at a genuine top half battle at Selhurst Park where the narrative has flipped. Crystal Palace currently sitting 5th in the Premier League are operating with a growing sense of authority under Oliver Glasner, and they look like a team with a plan, right? In contrast, Ruben Amorim's Manchester United sit 10th, searching for consistency, while United still possesses that spark of individual brilliance capable of deciding any game. They are arriving at a ground where they've struggled to assert dominance recently, with Crystal Palace riding a wave of defensive stability and United relying on, volatile high-scoring attack. This match promises to be a fascinating clash of styles. Glasner's controlled efficiency against United's chaotic firepower. And you can think about it like a chess match, right? Now, if we go into the head-to-head for this game, if you're looking at the historical dominance of the Red Devils here, basically, if you're looking at the head-to-head, when we go straight to basically what it has been overall, 30 fixtures between both teams with 7 wins for Crystal Palace, 17 wins for Manchester United. And then you have 6 draws between both teams with 17 losses for Crystal Palace and 7 losses for Man United. So pretty much straightforward. The score is 26-45. Crystal Palace 26, Manchester United 45, based on goals and stuff, recent history. And then you look at goals scored, 0.87 average to 1.5 for Manchester United. So it's all good. Goals allowed 1.5 for Crystal Palace to 0.87 for Man United. That's if we're looking at it. Basically, it is pretty interesting to see where this is headed and all of that. If you're looking at historical dominance, it is from the Red Devils, and the recent numbers also suggest that you should basically look elsewhere. Selhurst Park has lost the fear factor regarding visiting giants, specifically regarding this fixture. Recent history at Selhurst Park, the fixture. Recently at Selhurst Park, the fear factor is gone regarding the visit of giants. In the last 3 meetings in South London, Palace are unbeaten, 1 win and 3 draws. The wider trend is that Palace have drawn 3 of their last 5 home encounters against Manchester United. The aura that once surrounded this fixture United has largely evaporated, with Palace where Palace have proven that they can go toe-to-toe with United on home turf, and given their current league standing, they are likely to head into this fixture as the psychological favorites. And obviously, we all know that Man United thrive when we are not favorites to win this game, and everybody's kind of looking down on Man United to basically not deliver on the day. We're looking at the stats here. Basically, on the table, Palace are 5th, Man United are 10th. Just basically 2 points. Palace are 2 points ahead of Man United. 13 wins, 14 draws, and 38 wins for Manchester United. Now, if we look at the goals for, just based on the rankings and everything for Palace, basically goals for Man United at Palace are 10th, United are 5th. For shots, Palace are 9th, United are 3rd, so we take more shots. For assists, Palace are 12th, United are 5th, so we have more assists. And then for saves, Palace are 16th, United are 18th, so we have less saves, 25 to Palace's 27. With regards to recent form, basically, Palace have 4 wins and 1 draw, and they recently lost in all competitions. We look at the game, all competitions they played against Strasbourg, and then they lost. But Man United in all competitions have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss, coming from a 5-game unbeaten run that ended against Everton in a 1-0 loss. So it is pretty interesting to see where this leaves Man United and everything in between. If you want to analyze all of that, apart from that, let's look at other things like where Man United stand with regards to players and their performances for Manchester United. We'll have to look at basically what we have on our dashboard here. Obviously, offensive contributions, Mateta is leading Palace with 8 goals and 1 assist, while Brian Bomo is leading Man United with 6 goals and 1 assist. Ismail Assar is 8 goals, 1 assist as well, top scorer as well. Bruno is 2 goals, 3 assists when it comes to midfield. Daniel Munoz in defense is 2 goals, 3 assists, while Casemiro is 3 goals, 1 assist. And Remy Pino, 3 goals, 2 assists. Harry Maguire, obviously, the next scorer as far as offensive contributions in all competitions is concerned, 2 goals, 1 assist. Then if we're looking at players, obviously the player with the most minutes for Man United is Matthias de Ligt, followed by Luke Shaw, and then we have Diogo Dalot, Patrick Dogo, and Len Yoro. Meanwhile, for Palace, it's same minutes. Daniel Munoz has played all of Palace's games in the Premier League. Maguire next, then also Tyrick Mitchell as well, who just scored basically in the game against Strasbourg in the Conference League. And then you have Maxence Lacroix, who gets has played similar minutes to Tyrick Mitchell and Daniel Munoz. And then they have Chris Richards as well in the defense. And then obviously with the goalkeeping, Dean Henderson obviously has started 12 games and played all the Premier League matches, but Saint Lammens and Altabander have pretty much played 6 games each in the last 12 games. So, and obviously Saint Lammens has a better start over Altabander. If you look at it, Saint Lammens has 5 unbeaten games compared to Altabander and all of that. Then if we also look at other players in the forward line, that's in the attack for Palace, we will be talking about, Jean-Philippe Mateta, like we talked about, he's played 10-25 for Palace, compared to Brian Bomo, who's played 10-46 more minutes and scored 5 goals and 1 assist in Premier League, while Jean-Philippe Mateta has scored 6 goals in Premier League. Yeremy Pino as well, Ismail Assar for Man United, Benjamin Šeško, Mateusz Cunha potentially could come again in this game. I saw a rumor from Ben Jacobs that he could be ready to start. And then for midfielders, we have Daichi Kamada, who's played 843 minutes. Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes has played the most for midfield, followed by Amad Diallo, and then Casemiro, and then Kobmenu is the last on the list with 170 minutes. We also have Adam Wharton for Palace, who's Man United's target, and you have Jefferson Lemma, who has played 369 minutes, and he probably started the game. I think he started the game against Strasbourg because I went to watch them. And then you have Will Hughes, who has played for 49 minutes, who started the game against Strasbourg as well. Apart from that, Palace seem to be so much of a good team. So it's like 3-4-3 against 3-4-3. So it's a chess match, right? So still speaking of head-to-head, the aura that once surrounded United has largely this fixture for United has largely evaporated, and Palace have proven that they can go toe-to-toe with on home turf with United, and given their current league standing, they likely head into this fixture with as psychological favourites. If we're going to talk about form guides with regards to Palace, we will talk about basically the contrast. In contrast to there's a stark contrast between both teams, particularly when looking at defensive solidity versus attacking output. First and foremost, you look at the league record, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. There is the situation where goals scored per game for league record for over 12 games, 5 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses for Palace, while Man United 5 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses. For goals scored, 1.33 to Crystal Palace to 1.58 per match, 1.58 for Man United. Goals conceded per game, 0.75 for Crystal Palace to 1.58 for Manchester United. And then obviously the goal difference is +7 for Palace and 0 for Man United based on the league record. And then obviously the recent trend is that in the last 6 competitions, the last 6 games, you can see that Man United have Palace have 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, while Man United have 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Now, basically, to analyze this next step for Palace, the Palace are winning games through, strangulation, conceding just 0.33 goals per game, which makes it even a tougher game. And in their last 6 outings, and United are playing kind of like basketball matches where they score 2 goals per game. Recently considering, but also conceding 1.33. So score around 2 goals per game and concede 1.33, which takes us back to how Crystal Palace play. So if you've followed us up, if you watched us up until this point, thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please do, if you have not already. If you're new, please do like, share, subscribe, hit notification bell so you don't have to miss anything that's released to Manchester United. Now, tactical analysis with regards to how Palace play. All right. Under Oliver Glasner, Palace have transformed into a tactically disciplined machine. Mean they don't need to dominate the ball to dominate the game. They average just 41.33 possession recently, but use it with lethal efficiency. And that is also where Man United also has its own challenge. Man United as a team, we win games more when we have lesser possession. So it's a game of who is going to be in control and who's going to take advantage of the opportunities. For Palace, the system is a 3-4-2-1. Glasner employs a the system is a 3-4-2-1. Glasner employs a 3-4-2-1 that morphs into a compact 5-4-1 mid block without the ball, and this is kind of designed to frustrate teams that like possession, like United, right? Defensive triggers with regards to that is that the centre backs are aggressive, stepping up to engage attackers between the lines, and it sounds very familiar to what Man United are up and about. And then verticality, once the ball is won, they bypass the midfield, skirmishes with rapid vertical passing into channels for the number 10s or the striker. And with regards to width, their wing back in Munoz and Mitchell are the outlets, providing the width that stretches the opposition's defense. So it's basically just 2 formations facing each other and then trying to cancel each other out. It's going to be super interesting. And then when we look at the predicted lineup for Crystal Palace, predicted lineup for Crystal Palace will go like this: Jordan Henderson in net, in the 3-4-3. I said, Jordan Henderson in net, Maxence Lacroix in centre back, and then you have Richards and McGahey on the left side, Richards on the right side, and then you have centre back, and then you have Adam Wharton and Kamada. It could be with Hughes. But we're predicting that Adam Wharton and Kamada will start together. Kamada being the more defensive, Wharton being the more central player, and then you have Tariq Mitchell left wing back, and Daniel Munoz playing right wing back, and then you have Ismaila Sarr, the Senegalese international, playing as one of the 10s, and then Yeremi Pino playing as the second 10, and they could be lethal, especially for Yeremi Pino. And then you have Jean-Philippe Mateta playing as the striker. And for a key player for Crystal Palace, I could have gone with another player, but I had to go with this one because obviously I have other key players, but we're going to go with Jean-Philippe Mateta. Jean-Philippe Mateta has played a total of around 1,649 minutes. He played against Strasbourg as well, didn't score, but he scored. The last game he scored was an international break when he played for France. But he's a lethal player, 8 goals, 1 assist for the 28-year-old. He featured in the win against Wolves, the 2-0 win against Wolves. So he's a lethal guy. He scored against Man United multiple times. Another key player we can look at for Crystal Palace is Adam Wharton. Now, Jean-Philippe Mateta provides, the finish. The system relies on the pivot. While Jean-Philippe Mateta could provide the finish, the system will heavily rely on pivot. Adam Wharton is the engine of the transition. His ability to execute the immediate vertical pass mentioned in basically the scouting report is what turns a defensive interception into a goal-scoring chance. He's the interceptor and is key to them succeeding in the midfield. If United press him poorly, he will kind of slice them open. So we need to be very smart, especially with our midfield, which takes us to how Manchester United play. How Manchester United play under Ruben Amorim. We're seemingly in a transitional period, as everybody who cares to know can basically confirm, right? We're seemingly in a transitional period between what people tag as chaos and structure. Now, the stats suggest that a team that is dangerous, but the stats suggest that we're a team that is dangerous but brittle. The dominance in possession, which means that we average around 50.67%, and we generate high volume of shots in 14.67 shots per game. Considering that against Everton we had around 25 shots in that game, but we are defensively porous, which is no hidden stat with that. Now, Ruben Amorim's system is basically a high risk, high reward system, playing kind of like a volatile game, trying to find control as well, but scoring 1.58 goals per game while considering exactly the same amount in the case a side that actually trades blows rather than controls games, which is what Ruben Amorim is aiming to do. We are a possession heavy side and will likely have more of the ball than Palace, looking to work openings for individual stars. Our away form also, tells a different tale, right? The tactical setup is failing on the road, being winless in 80% of the last 20 away matches, which suggests that when we lose home comfort, the structure collapses under pressure. And we basically don't, our away games have been a bit kind of off if you look at it. But if you're looking at our away games so far, Man United have played we've played 6 away games. We've won 1, drawn 3, and lost 2. So if we can turn those draws into wins, or at least win one game, it evens out the whole away game situation, right? So that's pretty much what it is. Now, with regards to the key strategies, before we get to key strategies, we're going to talk about predicted lineup for Manchester United. Predicted lineup for Man United. Over the week, in the last 24 hours, we heard some stories. We're going to also talk about it. Now, Senna Lamans starts in net ahead of, obviously, he's our new number 1. Matthias De Ligt, Lenioro, and Luke Shaw are the centre backs. And then in midfield, we have Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro as the midfielders, our 2 generals as well. And then for left wing back, I initially went with Diogo Dalot, but I'm going to assume that Patrick Dogu is going to be benched for this one. And the reason being that reports came out that he liked a tweet or an Instagram post that, and I don't know why a Man United fan or a rival fan who actually doesn't have a following on social media will come out and try to, put pressure on a Man United player. But it is what it is. And he's a 21-year-old, so there's a whole lot that goes into those kinds of conversations. That Patrick Dogu went and liked that post where someone was criticizing Red Amorim for using Casemiro and Bruno in midfield. He went and liked it, and I'm like, Dogu is not reading the room. He doesn't read the room. He's not reading the room of what recently happened with Garnacho, that he's going on social media and doing stuff. Maybe he mistakenly liked it, or maybe someone in his team liked it. You never can tell. But it is what it is. Diogo Dalot is going to start, and people are really predicting that Dalot is going to be starting for the foreseeable future. So we shall see how things pan out with that one. So Dalot plays on left wing back, Ahmad plays on right wing back, and we have Mason Mount and Mbumo playing as the 2 10s, and then Matheus Cunha playing up top, as he would potentially be back for this game. So we shall see. It's going to be more like a false 9/10 kind of style of play. I will be shocked if he starts Xerxes, but most definitely going to bring Xerxes off the bench for Mount. And then key player for Manchester United in this one, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes. I noticed that he tried to make things happen for Man United. He's played like 1,116 games, 16 minutes. And he always tries to make things happen for Man United, which is really tough. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists in total. and basically playing 13 games, including the game against Grimsby Town, in all competitions. And the last time he scored was at the international break, where he scored a hat-trick for Portugal against Armenia. So it's going to be pretty tough to see how this pans out, especially for Bruno Fernandes. But I think he's our chance creator. He leads the charts with chance creation this season. And then you have to also look at it from the fact that, you know, he is our captain and a leader from the front. Then we also have to look at other key players in this game. I would have said maybe Bryan Mbeumo, but Bryan Mbeumo seems to be having a bit of an off kind of period. But I'll say Mason Mount as well. He's a disruptor. He's a press disruptor. He's one player who can actually make chances, win the ball back, cause chaos, and also create chances for Manchester United. If we're looking at the last before we go on to the key strategies to win, we look at the last couple of games. Crystal Palace beat Manchester United 2-0 in February this year, and then there was a draw between both teams in September last year, and then Crystal Palace beat Man United at Crystal Palace, and Man United beat Crystal Palace 4-0 at home, and then Crystal Palace beat Man United. So we beat Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park 4-0 in 2024 in May, while Crystal Palace beat Man United 1-0. Crystal Palace beat Man United home and away in 2024 under Erik ten Hag, 4-0 and 0-1, both at Old Trafford and all of that. Then Man United beat Crystal Palace at the Carabao Cup in the year before, that same season rather. And then the previous one, and then the one after that, Man United beat Crystal Palace. Man United beat Crystal Palace 2-1 in 2023 in February, and then on the 18th of January, Man United drew with Crystal Palace. So it's a mix. It's a mix, especially looking at where we're coming from and where we're headed. Now, strategies to win, basically for Man United. We're going to look at that. Key strategies to win for Man United, and like I always do on this channel, we have 4. United are arguably the underdogs here, based on form. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to take it to that level. So to take 3 points at Selhurst Park, Amorim's side must execute. These are 4 kind of specific points. First and foremost, we must exploit the space behind the wing backs. They will try to exploit ours too as well. But Palace rely heavily on Munoz and Mitchell for width. When these wing backs push up, United's wide forwards must cheat high, right? Basically, and exploit the space left behind in transition before Palace can reform their 5-man defensive line. You also look at the situation where when we also do the same, they could also cheat as well, especially the wide forward and the 2 10s for Palace. So we have to be very, very careful in that one. The last game they played against Strasbourg, they also struggled, which is also key for us, considering the fact that they just played and then we have more rest than they did. We just played on Monday, they just played today, and then basically would want to play, have short time to rest, turnaround time, play, retrain Saturday, come back again on Sunday, early kickoff. So it's pretty tough for them. Good run of fixtures for them as well, but tough ones. Number 2 would be to disrupt Adam Wharton. You cannot let Palace's transition play dictate the tempo. United must man mark or aggressively press Wharton to stop the vertical passes of Man United at the source. If Palace can transition quickly, they struggle to create from sustained possession. And that is what Strasbourg capitalized on before Strasbourg could win them from coming from 1 goal down to win 2-1. Also, number 3 is to capitalize on set pieces. Palace are defensively sound in open play, conceding just 0.33 goals recently. Now, United might not get many clear-cut chances, but they must be clinical on set pieces, which is an area where Man United can bypass Glasner's mid-block entirely. And then the 4th point would be weather the storm and the mental resilience, which seems to be lacking in this squad. United are winless in their last 3 and have a poor away record, 1 win only in all away games. Palace tend to finish strong, winning by 2+ goals often. So United must not crumble, and if they concede first, maintain the shape after a setback. Maintaining the shape after a setback is actually crucial to breaking their poor away streak. To breaking Man United's poor away streak. Now, to wrap everything all up, basically, and just, you know, to give you my thoughts and my predictions, my score predictions and stuff, the fixture represents a significant test of reality for both sides. Crystal Palace are operating with efficiency of a European contender, scoring enough, conceding little, and making Selhurst Park a nightmare for visitors. United, meanwhile, are a team of high potential but zero consistency, leaking goals at the same rate as scoring them, right? So if the stats hold true, Palace's defensive structure should be able to absorb United's pressure and punish their fragile away form on the break. United also need to produce a performance of rare discipline to actually leave London with a win. We haven't really won in London this year. We've gone to play against Brentford, we lost. We've played against Fulham, we lost. We drew. We played against Arsenal. Okay, that one was in Manchester. But against London teams, we seem to be struggling as well. So it is what it is. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section about this game. What are your predictions? For me, I predict hard for 2-1 win. We'll concede again, as it has always been, but we will win 2-1. It will be a struggle, it will be a tough one, a chess match, an interesting one. If we make it a basketball game, they're going to pounce on us. If we make it a more controlled game, we're going to, you know, kind of struggle to score. So we have to find a balance between making it a basketball game or making it a more controlled game. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build towards the game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park. Next video we're going to see is definitely going to be a pre-match press conference review that we're going to do, considering what Ruben has said and everything in between. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section and look out for that video. To all of you, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as relates to Manchester United. And to my Facebook folks, please do give us a follow so we can actually continue this community. We already have a Facebook United Talks podcast community where we have, you know, updates, conversations, and respond to polls and stuff. So if you want to, please join us there so we can actually build a conversation there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.